激闘の末、ドジャースの勝利で幕を閉じたワールドシリーズ。伝説に残るプレーで MVP に選ばれた山本由伸選手はメジャー2年目の2025年、ドジャースのエースとして大活躍しました。しかし、そんな山本由伸選手もドジャースと契約した際には一度も MLB で投げたことがない選手に3億2500万ドルの契約なんてありえないという声もありました。この動画では山本由伸選手がドジャースと契約が決まった際にアメリカではどのように報じられていたか MLB ネットワークとザ・リッチ・エーセンショーの様子を日英字幕でご紹介します。
I mean, this story is going to be a big one all year long. It's only just starting with the news that the Dodgers have signed him. And we're going to get into all of it over the next couple hours, including, you know, the bridesmaids, the teams that were rumored to be in pursuit that fell just short. We're hearing reports this morning that there were commensurate offers made by the Mets, by the Yankees. We'll talk about that later, but first let's talk about this deal as it pertains to the Dodgers by saying good morning to JP Morosi, who was probably following along the text chain yesterday when most of us were fast asleep, or some of us were chasing points in the Washington-Portland NBA game. I mean, it's, you know, maybe there's a guy like that. JP, good morning. Give us your thoughts. 12 for 325. This is a big story.
Matt and Cam, good morning to both of you. You're exactly right, Matty. This is monumental news around the baseball world. And to pick up on a point you just made a moment ago, remember this. The Dodgers are one of the first two teams anywhere in Major League Baseball to open their spring camp because their season begins in Seoul, South Korea. So there's going to be even earlier and greater media attention on the Dodgers who opened first. So keep that in mind. But this really is an extraordinary 24-hour span for the Los Angeles Dodgers and Yamamoto. I checked in late last night, so early in the morning Japan time, on why the decision was made here. And I was told simply by a source who knows the Japanese baseball scene very well, Yamamoto simply wanted to be a Dodger and play with Ohtani in no particular order. Because as we heard Mark Feinstein report earlier this morning, the Mets offered the same deal. Now, the piece of the deal that we don't know exactly yet is when the opt-outs happen. And that is really important because as we've seen in many significant transactions in recent years, having those opt-outs and when they fall tend to dictate a lot the leverage points of the deal and where the risk is. And so certainly the Dodgers taking a tremendous vote of confidence in Yamamoto's ability to A, succeed at the major league level, and B, stay healthy for 12 years. That is an extraordinary amount of time. As we heard Mark make the point, the Yankees actually offering a higher AAV, but this was why. The reason in terms of the duration of the deal had a lot to do with one of the most important numbers of all, and that is 25, his age. You see it there, the length of the contract. The value, yes, is important, and obviously he gets $1 million more than Cole, but for me, it's that number of years, and certainly the AAV for Cole was higher, but the duration of the deal for Yamamoto says a lot about where we are as an industry, and very importantly, Matty and Cam, the value of getting a player who has that sweet spot of enough experience that you know he can perform at a high level, as we saw in the World Baseball Classic, as we have seen with 3 straight Sawamura awards, and yet still young enough that in Major League Baseball, you see 23 and 24-year-olds who are considered prospects, and he's 25. So it's that sweet spot of achievement, but also a lot of youth that explains why he has signed this landmark contract.
I mean, now people are speculating, JP, that since they've blown the roof right off of the bank here, why not keep spending if you're the LA Dodgers? I don't know what other needs they would feel like they have to address. Starting pitching was one of them, certainly, but now you add Glass now and Yamamoto, and then you get Ohtani when he's healthy again down the road. I mean, is there more in store for the Dodgers, or can we put a bow on this for the winter in L.A.?
That's a great question, Matt. I think that in that 5th spot and we'll see, do they want to layer in a little bit more insurance where Yarborough's position is? We may also at some point see Clayton Kershaw come back. I could envision someone in the range of a Michael Lorenzen, shorter term deal, perhaps, California guy. I don't think they're going to be in there on Snell. We have to at some point in time leave some starting pitching for the rest of the industry. Sheehan, Grove, and Stone. One of the reasons why I like this move a lot is it allows Sheehan, Grove, and Stone to have a little bit more of a comfortable position. They don't have to be the number 3 or 4 starter. They can compete for the 5th spot or go into the bullpen as well. It is a very, very comfortable situation now, really, for everybody on that board that we just saw, where none of them have to be the guy necessarily as the number 1 starter and feel all that pressure. I think also in terms of a deal-making environment, Matt and Cam, I should point this out too. Tyler Glasnow's agent also represents Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And so the Glasnow extension was done a week ago with the same agency and agent, Joel Wolf. And so there was already that deal-making environment with Joel to where I think that it was a natural transaction to complete. Certainly, Yamamoto's choice of where he wanted to pitch was paramount. He had the choice of, as Mark Feinsand said, the same deal, effectively, Dodgers or Mets. He wanted to be a Dodger, but I do think there was already that momentum and comfortability between Joel Wolf and the Dodgers, and 2 massive deals struck. And again, if you just even look at Glasnow and Yamamoto, especially when you add in the posting fee, that is $500 million for those 2 alone, not even including Ohtani. It's an extraordinary amount of money and commitment the Dodgers have made just in the last couple of weeks.
JP, way to go, man. You're on the right trajectory on all this stuff.
Keep
Good
doing
job.
your thing, man. You're on the right trajectory,
Keep doing your
man.
thing, man.
To the game last night. I was at the game last night. I brought Coop to the game last night, my 12-year-old son. And it was fascinating going to the game. The red-hot rumor was that Shohei Ohtani would be at the game, as well as Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who is the red-hot Japanese pitcher that was posted and on the free agent market and was being wooed by the Yankees, who were like, we'll give you your number 18 and come on by. And he hung out, and Aaron Boone met with him, and Brian Cashman met with him, and Hal Steinbrenner met with him, and they were just like showing him off New York City, and then the Mets and Stevie Cohen, right? Your Uncle Stevie over there with all his dollar bills, and just he wanted.
He had the money.
He was saying, "Come on, you like New York, but forget the Yankees." We got Senga here. We got a teammate of yours.
Yeah.
And then the Dodgers are like, yeah, we have a teammate of yours too. And a teammate of yours gave us the opportunity to get you and others and not have to pay much of a luxury tax, because he has the luxury of being one of planet Earth's most famous athletes. His name is Shohei Ohtani, who's just like, can I defer all of my money? All 700 million of my dollars, can I defer? That's what Tom Verducci of Sports Illustrated told us. And he wound up deferring 680 million of his 700 million bucks, because he makes 50 million off the field, and he's not scraping change out of his car cushion to try and make ends meet. So sure enough, Yamamoto wasn't at the game. That was all refuted on the old X machine by all the baseball writers. Not true. And there was even word that the Yankees were ready to pull the trigger on some $320 million deal for 9 years. I saw that. I'm like, wow, 9 years for a pitcher. That is a lot, because the guaranteed money for pitchers, I mean, just look at it. Shohei Ohtani's on his second Tommy John surgery of his life. The first that we all know about here in America, because we're witnessing it in person, but that's a lot to give to a Major League Baseball pitcher that's constantly, you always hear terms like subflexor and whatever, like words that you don't, you got to go to WebMD to look up. You know,
an everyday conversation.
You know what I mean? Like you hear, body parts that have that. Wow, the shoulder's made up of that many body parts. I had no idea about that tendon. You hear that from pitchers. So I heard 9 minutes. I'm about, hey, Yankees needed him. Go for it. Certainly to keep him from the Mets and make sure, honestly, or the Red Sox or anybody else, the Yankees need somebody like him. And sure enough, Shohei Ohtani was at the game, as we all know. Yamamoto was not, but his presence was there because as soon as I left the lot and I felt my phone buzz in the traffic jam leaving the lot.
Took you a while to leave the lot, didn't it?
I saw Chris Brockman's text saying the Dodgers have no more excuses. And I turned to my 12-year-old son, Cooper, who has been monitoring the news for Yamamoto, hoping he would wear the Yankee pinstripes because I did reserve that part of his sports fandom for me. He's going to go to college. Who are your favorite teams, Cooper? Well, Celtics, Patriots, Yankees. And people are like, what sort of alien are you? And so I'm like, I think the Dodgers got Yamamoto. He goes, why? I'm like, because Chris Brockman just texted the Dodgers are out of excuses. He pops on his phone and he goes, oh, no. Which I think most baseball fans outside of Dodger Town and Dodger World, or sports fans that kind of surf into paying attention to this part of the sports conversation, I think Coop, my 12-year-old, was giving that sense some two simple words. Oh, no. Because the Dodgers got him. 12 years. 12 years. $325 million. And we're beginning to learn the ins and the outs of the contract. You're hearing that there's opt-outs, 6 years in, what have you. Yep. I mean, it's going to take some time because don't forget, it took 48 hours to learn that Ohtani deferred money. Then we found out how much. Then we found out that if the majority owner or the controlling owner of the Dodgers or Andrew Friedman of the front office ever separates from the Dodgers, Ohtani has a chance to walk at the end of the year. I mean, we're still learning. But this guy basically doesn't get, hit up. He's that good. He's 25. His ERA, to use an old Stuart Scott phrase, is spandex thin. Stuart always used to refer to ERAs in the 1 point, fill in the blank for the last two numbers. Anything, an ERA of 2.5 or under, Stuart always referred to on SportsCenter as spandex thin. And Yamamoto as spandex thin numbers. Holy cow. And so the Dodgers now have $1.025 billion committed over the next dozen years to two of the most talented stars on planet Earth who play baseball. Man. And then they also, just got Tyler Glasnow and Margot from Tampa. They paid Glasnow, $170 million, which is all on the front page or of the sports section of the Los Angeles Times today.
And he's had 2 arm injuries.
Coming off of one.
Yeah.
And the headline of sports is, it's another ace up their sleeve. Yep. Because Ohtani's going to come back at some point, and it'll be Yamamoto and Ohtani in back-to-back nights and basically start trying to get, to Dodger Stadium now. Yeah. And by the way, I'm imagining, save up.
Yeah.
Save up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And save up your time and your dollars and your cents.
Dodger
and,
dogs ain't cheap.
That's just for parking.
I know that. Oh, by the way, absolutely. And then to your point about no excuses is their lineup. It'll be, and it's not like the rest of the cupboard's bare. Mookie Betts, are they going to bat Ohtani second in front of Freeman or Freeman in front of Ohtani?
I would have Freddie second.
Right. And then Ohtani third.
Yeah.
And then Will Smith bat and clean up.
Muncie's back.
Right. And then they will. I mean, their farm system hasn't been rated at all.
Gotta imagine Gavin Lux is back this year.
Right, exactly. And so we asked Verducci, Tom Verducci of Sports Illustrated, how does baseball feel about this after we heard about Ohtani deferring all this money? So the Dodgers now have more money than God, can now go spend more money to make a team around Ohtani better, if not completely unbeatable, and avoid paying the revenue poor, if you will, teams in baseball a luxury tax because they don't want to pay these teams money to stuff their wallets and feather their own personal nests as opposed to trying to compete with these teams. And so his answer was, are you kidding me? Ohtani's the best name out there, one of the brightest stars this sport has ever featured on a diamond, certainly in North America. And hey, he hasn't made a single playoff appearance, and the Dodgers have made 12 in a row. So, yeah, they're psyched. They're fine with it. I'm wondering, what about today? What about today? Now that we have seen what the Dodgers will do, thanks to the flexibility Ohtani's deferral of his money allowed them to do, getting everybody. And hey, this used to be the Yankees. It doesn't feel great to me right now that the Yankees are now just like everyone else. Just like everyone else. As I said yesterday, there's a new evil empire. I tweeted that out. Because remember, the Red Sox used to refer to, was it Larry Lucchino referred to, the longtime Red Sox executive, refer to the Yankees as the evil empire because they had more money to spend than anyone else, and they did? Well, not anymore. Because I guess the Yankees decided we're not going to 12 years on a pitcher, and that's enough. Because George M. Steinbrenner would have been like, who cares? Fannies in the seats. Championships in the case. I don't care. Is it possible they still went to 12? And Yamamoto goes, I just want to play with Ohtani in Los Angeles. Possible? Because did Steve Cohen not go to 12 years?
I saw that it was 320 area. I didn't see the years, though.
Well, the Daily News of the New York Daily News summed it up as well. Back page. It's a miserable life. Yanks miss out again as Yamamoto agrees to reported $325 million deal with the Dodgers.
ご視聴いただきありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。